Hello and welcome to the Gothic Unicorn, and to a video that in some ways has been a long time coming. I am of course referring to the start of a new 1/48 scale build, and I'm really looking forward to it. So let's get on with it. If you've been watching the videos, you'll know what property I've decided to work on. I'm working on the Last Breath Inn, although I'm not sure that that is going to be what appears on the sign. So we're building a pub. Now this one is 4 floors, so I've got 4 rooms to decorate on this, and I am looking forward to it. I've got lots of ideas that I will explain. Now I've already been through the instructions because it does tell you to read the instructions beforehand, and I have marked off all the parts. So I've had everything out, and I'll be honest, I did actually put the main structure of the building together just to see the sort of size that I'm looking at, because I'm useless until I see it in 3 dimensions. So we've got a pile here of the big MDF pieces. Those are what we're going to be focusing on today. Everything else is still in the bag. That's the roof, all the trim pieces, windows, etc. That I'm going to put aside because it's going to be a while. And I'm going to make a start on this. Now, my plan is obviously, if you look at this, you can see 3 of the 4 floors. The 4th room is the attic room again. I do like that these buildings include the attics. And I like the fact that there's lots of shape and everything to this. It's going to look different to the properties I've done already. My basic plan is going to be on the ground floor, we're going to have a bar, a regular sort of pub. The first floor is going to be what sometimes referred to in this country as a club room. It's a sort of private room where groups, clubs might meet. The 3rd floor is going to be a bit more interesting. This is not supposed to be a pub in a affluent area. It's in Dead End, and yeah, I got plans for that one. The attic room I'm not sure about yet. I don't just want it to be ordinary. I've got an idea, but if I go with it, it's not really going to be suitable for YouTube. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be a little bit naughty. So that one you may see glimpses of in later videos if I go down that route, but you might not get to see the full version, or at least I won't be explaining the full version. I'll leave it to your imaginations. That said, the first thing I've got to do is I've got to decorate the inside, which means I've got 4 floors to do, and I've got all the walls. Now, I've found out a load of scrapbooking papers for the walls, and I'm going to paint the attic because it's easier, because I've just got one sort of fixed wall. So I'm just going to paint the inside of the attic. I've got some paper that I think I'm going to use in the bar. And then I've got something a little bit more luxurious that I'm going to put into the club room. And then I've got something that's supposed to look a bit over the top for the other room. I think it's going to work, especially once I grubby it up, because it's not going to be all nice and clean. So I'm going to start by marking out where my wallpaper goes, And to do that, I'm going to use the pieces and the back and the sides, and I'm going to use a floor. And basically what I've got to do is I've got to mark and put a line, because you don't want to, if you're putting paper onto the walls, you don't want paper on any of the joints. So anywhere where another piece sits, you've got to leave clear. So it just means that it needs a little bit of fiddling about, a lot of fiddling and faffing, but okay. Ceilings, I'm just going to paint those. I will decide on a colour, an off-white colour probably, and they will get painted. And then the floors, I'm probably going to do them all wooden, a wooden effect. So yeah, that's what I'm going to start with, and I'll come back and give you updates as we go. It has taken me a while to get to this stage. I actually got these done a while back, but I've been having one hell of a week, so it's taken longer than I intended. I've got my floors done. Now I've done the floors with strips of 210 or 220 gram cardstock, I can't remember what it is, that I cut into 1/4 inch strips. They make for big floorboards. They'd be a 12-inch floorboard, but it's an older building, it could be. And I coloured each one individually with an alcohol marker, and then I've cut them down and stuck them down, and you get a lot of variation in colour, which is great because that's what I want. I don't want it to look like it's all just been coloured. Now, this is the floors. Obviously, the other side's going to be the ceilings. Ground floor, there's nothing underneath. That one's just plain because that's not visible. This one, oh no, that's upstairs. This is going to be the ground floor in the bar. Now, I painted it with sand coloured paint. I painted all 3 of the ceilings and I didn't like it. I wanted a bit more texture. So what I've actually done is I have cut out some shapes. These have been die cut and these are just some punches, and I'm going to paint over that, and it's going to give the ceiling some texture, I hope. So that's going to be the bar. When we come to the club room on the first floor, we've got a fully textured ceiling. Again, I'm going to paint this. This was done with a embossing folder. Again, that went through my my little die cutting machine, and it comes out like that, and it's brilliant. I think that is going to look absolutely superb. And then the final floor is getting a frame. Not just getting a frame, but maybe I should leave the rest to your imagination. All these are going to get another coat of paint, and I will come back and I will show you them when they're painted. So here they are with paint on. As you can see, you can still see the details. It's going to be enough, especially once they're aged. As I say, they're going to be aged once the house is together. So it's time to get on. I've got to decorate the rest of the building and then I can put it together. So it's wallpaper time. Now, the trick to wallpapering these is measuring. As you can see, I've got all my lines where I don't want paper. I have put some paint on the top, on the attic, because that's just going to be painted. I will paint the inside of the roof the same colour, the sand, and that will be that. So I've got to cut 3 pieces for each floor, and I'm going to measure them, and I'm probably going to cut them with the paper trimmer in the first instance and then trim it down if I need to. So I'm going to get on with that and I'm going to get this painted. Now, to put my wallpaper on, what I've done in the past is I have used a combination of a glue stick and some double-sided tape. Bit unconventional. You can do it by putting glue on and putting it down and you know, smoothing it out and everything. It's up to you. It's just what I prefer doing. So I'm going to get this papered, and the next time you see it, it's going to be ready to start putting it together. Oh, I'm really having trouble with my words today. Now the paper is on and I'm ready to start building. I was considering putting some panelling around the bottom, and I actually cut some strips which are going to go about halfway, that I was going to colour and do everything with, and then I realised I haven't got the door. I'm going to have a door on the back wall. I need that in place to get the bits right on the back. So I'm going to put it together, and I may include the panelling, I may not. It all depends on how fiddly I decide it is when I get it together. Probably won't now, but I don't want to put the door on top of the panelling. I want it all to look right. Now I suppose I could, actually what I could do is I could check the measurements of one of the doors and leave a gap, couldn't I? I might just leave it like this, to be fair. Once I've got everything in, there's not going to be a lot of room for panelling, if I'm going to be honest with myself. So I think I'm just going to leave it. So instead, I'm going to start sticking it together. Now the first bit that I need, we'll put that side aside because I don't need that for a while, is I need the back piece and I need the ground floor piece. And I need some glue. I'm going to put some glue onto this piece, like so. And I'm going to put a bit of glue onto this piece, onto the tab. Not too much. And I'm going to put this into there. Now I've got to hold that at right angles, and I've got a tub of toothpicks on my table and I cannot see them. How can that happen? There should be, my little tub of these should be on there, and I could get a clean one for clearing up the glue. Not so bad underneath. This one's a little bit grubby, but I don't want to leave all that glue on the back of there. Now, look at me. I know I had a tub of toothpicks because they're not in the drawer at the other side of me because they keep moving. Now once that is set, we are going to glue the side piece in. Now to glue the side piece in, I am going to turn this over and put glue down the sides. I'm going to leave this a little bit longer and I'm going to go looking for my toothpicks, and when I come back I'll be a bit further along. Does anybody else find this happens? Things just disappear out of their craft spaces, or is it just me? The structure is mostly together. I have attached all 4 floors and the side wall. Well, you attach side wall and then the rest of the floors, and all the pretty ceilings are in place. Now I haven't attached the other side wall because I'm still umming and ahhing over yes, what am I umming and ahhing over? Panelling. I want to put panelling in here, and I can still fit it in as it is. I think I'm going to go with it. I think that's going to be my next thing. So I'm going to go off and decide what colour panelling I'm going to have and cut some pieces. I have gone with the sort of faux panelling. Now, I am going to be aging this as with the rest of the property, so don't worry that it looks a bit patchy at the moment. It will look different in time, and it will look different once the furnishings are put in. Now, I'm going to show you on the side piece, which I haven't stuck down. What I've got is I've got a base piece of cardstock, and then I've got some cardstock panels, and I've got a cardstock strip along the top. It's very basic. It's probably not correct to any period in history. I don't really care. It just gives the effect that there is panelling there. It just gives a different look to the property. And now I can stick this piece in place. Now I've left gaps because I'm going to have 2 doors in the bar. I'm going to have a door which will actually be a door, which would be the doorway that goes through to access the rest of the building to the facilities. Always important if there's drink involved. And the other doorway is going to be, well, it's going to be another faux door, but it's not going to be a door. I'm going to try and make it look like there's a curtain hanging there. Could be easier said than done. And that is going to be for the staff to get through. That's sort of my idea anyway. But at the moment, it's just a gap. They are, as I say, they are on order. I will be stalking the postman very, very soon. Might already be stalking the postman. We never know, do we? Anyway, that said, I can now put this side on. And as with pretty much everything with this, it is a case of applying glue along the edges. Now, I've got a lot of edges to apply glue to on this one, and you don't need a massive amount. As long as it's a good glue, it will actually stick. Now, I'm liking the details that I've added to this so far. I am trying very hard to make each of these properties individual whilst them working together externally, and also keeping to the sort of dark aesthetic that Dead End promotes. I mean, any street where you've got an undertaker's, a building that's associated with the hangman, you know, it's spooky, but obviously there's a certain amount of tongue-in-cheek humour as far as I'm concerned, because that's just how I am. So we are now going to put this piece into place. I'm going to line it up with all these, and it has been on and it does fit. It's just being a bit awkward, and I'm going to hold this in place. So I'm going to leave you for a moment. I'm going to hold this in place until the glue sets, and then we can have a look at the built structure of the house. It's not quite a full building yet, because obviously the front needs to be done, but it is the basic structure. The structure of the building is done, and I have put the front in place just because, well, it gives you an idea of what it's going to look like, and it allows me to start thinking about how I can make my interiors work. What a fair idea. So we're going to take that off. That is for another day, and we've got 3 rooms plus the beginnings of the attic, basically decorated. I always say basically decorated because they aren't fully decorated until they're furnished. At this scale, I stick everything into place, and these buildings are going to need some distressing, bit of aging. They're not supposed to be looking their absolute best, and that'll get done as I work through each room in turn. But I'm quite happy with how this is coming together. I've tried a few new things. The textured ceilings, there's something a little bit more. It's something that I will possibly do in some other buildings. Just breaks things up. Now, I don't put light fittings in these houses because at this scale it's kind of difficult. There are people who've lit them and they're amazing, but it's sort of a bit beyond me at the moment, so I'm just sort of forgetting about this. You can always pretend that they just use lamps and things, and I could put lamps in later, wall lamps, that kind of thing, in some of the properties, but you know, it's imagination. Light isn't an issue in my imaginative world. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously the next step is going to be to paint the outside. That will just get a grey coat of some description. Not sure which grey I'm going to use. I've got 3 that I'm using for the street of Dead End in various combinations. It'll be one of them. And then the next video we will start on the front panel as well. So I'll probably paint the outside before the next video, and then we can just get on with the front panel. Now, I don't tend to put curtains at my windows. I may make some fake blinds to go so far down on the second floor room. I don't know yet. Maybe it would be, I think, appropriate to have something at those windows. We'll see once I start to put them together. I think there's some shutters and things that have got to go on, and yeah, we'll see how it all goes. Obviously the next one's going to mean painting all the window pieces, which takes some time because there's lots of little bits, but as I always say, there's lots of little bits. It's very fiddly, but they are the bits that make these properties come to life. So there we have it. Another 1/48 scale build underway, and I need to decide what I'm going to call my incarnation of the last breath in, which is what this is. So if you've got any suggestions, please add them in the comments. I am always interested in what you think. And yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, which I hope you have, please like, comment and subscribe. Maybe even ring the notification bell so that YouTube should let you know when I upload a new video. It's not always at the right time because, well, it is what it is. But anything like that you do really does help my channel. I try and upload a video every week, usually on a Friday, but I don't promise anything because real life has a habit of getting in the way. Just lately more than usual, but we can but try. And until next time, bye.